Hey guys, King Kaiju here, back today with another Kaiju review. And this is one I've been anticipating for quite a while because ever since this figure released, I've been a pretty big fan of it and I wanted to get my hands on it, although I never did up until now. I'm sure it's no surprise by the thumbnail and title, but that figure is Gemstone Megalon. Yes, this is the recent Megalon that appeared in the Godzilla short. I think it was released in 24 or 23, one of those 2 years. And I'm not gonna lie with you, I really like this design. I was not a very big fan of Gigan Rex. I don't think the design is that cool, but this, guys, I don't know what it is about it. I really like it. It takes everything from the classic Megalon and just makes it 10 times better in my opinion. I like how bulky he is. I like how sharp his drills look. I overall just think the design is really good. So I picked the figure up of him, and while I do really like his design, the figure is meh. We'll get into that more here in the details section. Speaking of, let's get right into that. So first thing that you'll probably note is that the detail on him, just sculpt-wise, is great. This design is very, very textured, and you can tell that throughout the entire body. Even the underside of his tail has a lot of nice detail and some copyright information, but that's neither here nor there. And while the detail is really good, the paint is pretty lacking. Like, for example, his drills are not all the way painted. There's no paint on the back of his legs. There is some subtle paint on his tail, which is nice, and a lot of his back here is painted. There also is a lot that is not, though. That's pretty lame, but I overall do like the paint that we do have on here. I wish there was maybe some more vibrant things in his paint job, but I do understand the design was also pretty dull. But yeah, the detail and paint is passable. The detail is really good, just the paint I think could have been better. As for the articulation though, this is where I get into my main complaints with the figure. First off, the legs can rotate. I know I usually don't start with them, but you'll kind of see why I am here in a second. And then whenever it comes to the arms, that's it. That is as far as you can rotate his arms. They don't go up or anything, they just kind of swivel like this. So if you want to put his arms in this weird position, you can. And that's all he's got for his arms. You know, the main thing that he's known for is smacking other kaiju around with his big drill hands, and you know, he doesn't get to do that with this figure. He just kind of gets to stand here menacingly. That really annoys me. I really wish they would have made it to where his arms can go up and down and not whatever the hell this is. It just looks really weird, and it definitely does not look cool. And considering that I'm a big man-child and I like to throw these things against each other and make them fight, I wish they would have given him something better for the arms. So with the pretty mediocre 5 points of articulation, we'll go into sizing, which does get better, I will say. And to start that off, let's go against the Muto Prime from YMSF. And these guys look really good next to each other. This fella is probably just a little bit under 6 inches tall, I would say. Megalon is probably closer to 6.5 inches if I had to put out a guess. Megalon is a taller monster, even back in the Showa era he was, so I think that he deserves a taller figure, and I'm glad that he is represented that way here. Next, I'll bring out another figure that I do need to make a review on, which is Pandan, the original Showa iteration. And again, this is a pretty short figure here. He's probably even shorter than Muto Prime was, but here he actually doesn't look too bad. I would say Pandan should probably be closer to his height, but that's more of a complaint of this guy's figure, not Megalon's, and I'll get to it whenever I review Pandan. And last but not least, we'll pull out another fairly tall figure, Geronimon, which is actually taller than Megalon, surprisingly. And yeah, these guys look pretty good next to each other too. Would be a pretty cool matchup if his arms didn't just kind of sway side to side. And also, you probably noticed that I brought out the 3 main villain kaiju from my recent film, Aliens and Demons, which is kind of a sequel to Godzilla versus the Sea Beasts. It'll make sense later. I want to kind of make a sort of show out of it. No promises here, but you know, if all goes well, I'll keep making them, and you'll kind of see where that to be continued ended off. So that is the Gemstone Megalon review. This guy is a pretty good figure, I will say. The only thing I think really holds him back is his arm articulation, and I do think he probably could have had more than 4 points. I think they maybe could have fit something in like the tail or the head, but that's neither here nor there. It's a kaiju figure, 4 points is fine. I just would have preferred they made the arms a little bit better. Other than that, though, the figure is solid. It's not exceptional for Bandai standards, but it is pretty good, and it is a fairly accurate representation of what he looks like. I will say one thing before I end the review. Do not give in to the prices that a lot of people are selling this guy for. I bought mine for $70, and I regret that purchase a lot. I do not think this guy is worth $70. This guy is probably at most $40 worthy, and I would say that's even debatably a stretch. So with that all out of the way, thank you all for watching this Kaiju review, and I will see you all in the next one.